A group of people will choose as their leader the one who had done great deeds in the past as they remembered. This was the germ of royalty. This is how royalty began. The remembrance of the meritorious deeds of a great man was carried even beyond the death of that person. It is the same with leaders of those days. Once there is memory, the people continue to recollect those leaders, even after they are dead and gone. Mankind began to honor the memory of ancestors and to revere them and others who had done great things because we had memory of them. That form of veneration is still practiced to this day by some societies. Monarchy and hereditary succession was also inaugurated, and that is how we also began monarchy and hereditary succession. It began many, many years ago. For example, a father had the power to bestow his qualities upon the son in a way impossible for us to do today. Thus, the son almost always inherited the father's good qualities. Experience came to be highly valued. The man who had gained the most varied experience was the most honored and sought after. Then the beginning of separate nations began. Groups of people who discovered in one another similar tastes and habits would leave their old homes and found a new colony. We can reference Genesis chapter 11 that gives details about how this happened. They remember the old customs and followed them in their new homes as far as relevant. They, however, formed new cultures to meet their own particular ideas and necessities. The leaders of mankind initiated great kings at that time to rule the people, over whom they were given great power. The masses honored their kings with all the reverence due them. But this happy state of having kings as rulers had in it a germ of disintegration. Why do we say so? With time, the kings became intoxicated with power. They forgot that it had been put into their hands by the grace of God as a sacred trust to deal justly and help the people. They began to use the power corruptly for selfish ends and personal glorification instead of the common good, arrogating to themselves privileges and authorities never intended for them. So these things about abuse of power is something that started many years back, millions of years back. Ambition and selfishness ruled the kings. They abused their high and divinely derived powers because they had powers of those days for purposes of oppression and vengeance. That's how they were using their powers. This was true not only of the kings, but also of the nobles and higher classes. So you can see how humanity began to misuse powers. When one considers the power possessed by the kings, the nobles, and higher classes against their fellow beings of the less developed class, it is easy to understand that the abuse of such powers is a terrible thing. In course of the fourth movement, humanity began to erect temples where the kings were even worshipped as gods, and they caused extreme oppression of the helpless people. They really did that. Humanity did a lot of bad things. Black magic of the worst kind and most disgusting flourished a lot. We were using our powers anyhow. And all efforts were directed towards the gratification of vanity and external display. That was how we were using our powers in those days, millions of years ago. With time, and this is where the difference started, with time, the first germ of corrective quality of thought emerged. Those who began exercising their faculties became the forerunners for the widespread use of the mind in the fifth movement. So the use of the mind were by a select group of people going back into the fourth movement. The mind was given to give purpose to action, and this is key. The mind was given to give purpose to action. But as the ego was weak and the desire nature strong. And the desire nature was dominated by the lower desires, very strong. The embryonic mind, the young mind that was given, combined with the desire body. So instead of the mind linking up with the spirit and serving as the link between the lower bodies and the spiritual aspects, it rather combined with the desire, because the desire was there earlier on. So with the mind linking with the desire, the faculty of cunning and craftiness emerged, leading to greed and wickedness. This is what happened when the mind linked with desire. Instead of it being a tool for the spirit, it linked with the desire. The use of thought and reason led to mankind losing control over nature forces. So, when we developed the brain and the mind was given, and we began to exercise the mind, we began losing the control over nature forces. We could not command them anymore. Humanity couldn't command the nature forces anymore because we resorted to the use of the mind, to reason and to give thought. Thought that works only in an individual is powerless to command nature. It can never endanger humanity, as will be the case if the nature forces were to be under our control, because we are selfish and greedy, we'll abuse it. So it was replaced by thought, so that we can use it for reasoning. By thought and reasoning, we had the opportunity to evolve, to go through the process of evolution.
Filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see. Whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all this.